Hello everyone, and welcome to the Geek XP. Brandon's currently busy moving into his new apartment, so I thought I'd jump on in. My name is Kyle, I'm Brandon's twin brother, and we're here to talk about video games. Which video game, you ask? Well, we're here to talk about the new game by TellTale, Batman, the TellTale series, Episode 1, Realm of Shadows. And I should start by saying, I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers. I want you, if you're interested, to play this game and make these decisions and choices and discoveries on your own. Now, I have to admit, when I first heard that TellTale was going to make a Batman game, I was f***ing pissed off! Are you fucking kidding me? I've been waiting for Wolf Among Us Season 2 for years! Meanwhile, you're making Minecraft Story Mode, Tales of the Borderlands, you're making Jurassic Park, the TellTale game. When was honestly the last time a Jurassic Park game made any money at all? What are you doing, TellTale? Wolf Among Us was beautiful, and I want Season 2. Season 2 of The Walking Dead was amazing, the way it expanded on the story and the characters. And I don't think it's too much to ask for TellTale just to finish what they started. You know, they did Walking Dead, and then they did Wolf Among Us. I was like, awesome. And then they had Walking Dead Season 2, and I was like, oh yeah, this is so great. What about Wolf Among Us? Where are you going? I want the Wolf Among Us Season 2. So when I heard there was a Batman game, I was initially very frustrated, but over time I got past it. It's okay. I'm an adult. And I started to think about, okay, well, I like Batman. My very first comic book as a child was a Batman comic book. I've been a fan since I was a wee lad. This could be really cool. TellTale Games have a very unique storytelling style, and Batman has some very compelling characters, and how is that going to translate? And I started to think about, what makes a TellTale game so good? It tells an amazing story. You get to meet characters that reveal themselves over time, and your dialogue choices change the landscape of the story, and a lot of the times you don't see the consequences coming until far down the line. You make decisions, and very often you don't find out what those decisions will bring about until far later. As I was coming off of being just hurt and betrayed that the Wolf Among Us Season 2 just isn't coming, you know, what does Batman as a TellTale game gonna be like? Because it's a 77-year-old property. Like, we know how the story goes. You know, Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. He has a butler named Alfred. He's got, you know, this friend in City Hall named Harvey Dent. Oh, but he's gonna become Two-Face. Like, we kind of know the beat. We know who Batman is. We know his relationships with other characters. So how is that gonna fit into the style of storytelling that a TellTale game provides us as game players? Well, in this review, I have to say, I was really surprised, because I was right, but not how I thought I was going to be right. So you do have a lot of the similar beats that, you know, you have in a Batman story. But without any spoilers, this game starts us in Batman's year one, which is very good choice on TellTale's part, because this is a huge formative time for Bruce, for Batman, and Gotham as a whole. And it's a great opportunity for players, especially because Batman is so well known, to kind of decide who is Batman. Because we've had a plethora of writers, directors, who have given us different versions of Batman, for better or worse, with the exception of Zack Snyder, which is just the worst. You're just a soulless director. You don't care. You don't understand. You're just making flashy garbage. But my point is, we have tons of creative minds over the course of almost 80 years giving us so many different versions of Batman. I mean, look at the way Batman changed from Adam West to The Dark Knight Returns. Like, they're huge tonal shifts, and so for Batman fans, a lot of us have a mishmash of different Dark Knights, you know, in our head. I know for me, I have my version of Batman in my head, and I immediately started to realize in this game that I get to define who Batman is.
I am Batman!
And sort of step into Bruce Wayne's shoes and make those decisions, make those discoveries for myself. And that's a really cool role that we get to undertake, is we get to help the formation of Batman. Because during this year one, Bruce is trying to discover and define a lot of himself and who Batman is, what Batman needs to be for the city, and why he's doing it, you know? And we get a lot of great opportunities just in this first episode to help define who that character is going to be. Do we want Batman to be a hero and a beacon of hope to the people of Gotham, or do we want him to be a dark knight who instills terror in everyone because criminals need to feel the fear that they instill in others? And the consequences of those decisions, you know, what that means for Gotham. And it's very interesting, and I like it a lot. Superhero combat is a staple, and Batman fights very quickly, and it's very intense. To use a lot of his gadgets and tactical know-how, where the bad guys are, how you're going to use either your tools or the environment around you to take them out as quickly as possible. And there's also some excellent new detective work. We got a little bit of it in The Wolf Among Us. Seriously, I want Season 2. There's so many unanswered questions, and the lady walked away at the... Anyway, so in Batman, you get to play some of that world's greatest detective, and you get to check out a crime scene, start linking pieces of evidence together, and get to figure out what it is that happened. And I'm excited for more of these mechanics to evolve as episodes come out. With other characters, you know, my initial reaction was, you know, well, we already know where all these characters are going, so where's the mystery? Where's the investment into who they are? And I hope that TellTale takes the opportunity to allow us to get close to some of these characters so that when they inevitably tumble into darkness, we feel, you know, a pang of loss at where they fall. You know, Batman, in a lot of cases, he's responsible for their creation in this dark, twisted irony. And I think if TellTale plays it right, we'll be surprised at how closely attached we get to some of them, so that when they fall into darkness, we feel that burden of responsibility and that guilt at seeing those people sort of get twisted and caught up in the darkness that Batman inevitably kind of creates in his crusade. But, you know, from the rest of the cast, you know, Troy Baker comes in to do Bruce Wayne. You know, it's hard to replace Kevin Conroy.
I am Batman!
But it's a nice new voice for Batman. You know, other notable voice talent, you've got Travis Willingham as Harvey Dent. He does an amazing job. I really am excited to see what he sounds like when he becomes Two-Face. Laura Bailey plays Catwoman, and she is fantastic. Laura Bailey as Catwoman is just, girl. You know, as a fan of Critical Role, I love both of those guys. As a fan of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, I love, you know, hearing them in anything, so it's nice having them in this series. But overall, I really like this first episode of Batman, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. Hopefully we'll get more than one season. Wolf Among Us Season 2, please. And just really see how this story unfolds and the consequences of our actions as Batman in Gotham. Well, those have been my thoughts and general review of Batman Episode 1, Realm of Shadows. I'm interested to know what you guys have to say or think, so if you've played Batman or have any thoughts, share them in the comments below, give us a like, a subscribe, and until next time, everybody, game on.